And let's see, it seems to be running. Slash, and that's Amogus, it's not Pringles. There it is, Pringles. So today, for the first time, it's actually working. And when you see to the bottom, it says, wow, you actually chose Doge, sad face. So what's happening here is when you do slash test, it's giving us one option. That's called optone. And that's the description of, this is the first option that we have. You see, yeah, of course. So this is the first option that we have. This is the option that we are seeing because right now when we click slash test, it is just the actual slash command. But the slash test will actually have an option called optone, which is over here. It's optone, which has a description of this is the first option that we have. And obviously, as I showed you yesterday, there was a table which had an option type where 3 was supposed to be a string. And we made the required is equal to true because it doesn't really work without having a choice. Because what it prints here is actually the value of the choice that we chose. If we chose choice 1, then it'll select, wow, you actually chose Doge. If you chose the second choice, it's gonna print out, wow, you actually chose no Doge. That's basically it. So I'm gonna show you what happens if we choose choice 2. And that's it. It's gonna select, it's basically going to return the value of the choice that we were given. Sorry, the value of the choice that we chose. Hard to say, but yeah, that's it. That's pretty much the entirety of slash commands. So once the slash command is executed, it calls a function under it and passes whichever value that we have into optone and the context of the slash command, that is where it was sent, who it was sent by, etc. If you want to see what context means, it's all over here. Just type Control F and context, you will find everything related to it. Right here, everything related to context is here. With context, you can have the author, you can check if it's a bot or not, where it was sent, which server it was sent in. I don't know what that means. That's .message. You can check what the message was. So you can do cpx.message.content, I guess. Then you can check if there's a prefix for it. These are the things you can do for it, etc. So that's obviously just the API reference manual. You can just check that if you want to see what does what. So yeah, that's it for slash commands. I'm going to move over to we're going to move over to APIs. Yeah. So the API that I'm going to use is called imgflip. It's going to be this one, api.imgflip. I think it's called api.imgflip. Yeah, there it is. I'm going to send this to the chat here. And this is the documentary of the API. So for every kind of API that we use ever, we need to look at the documentary of it so that we can understand how to use it exactly. So there are two things that we can do with this API. One of the things that we can do is get memes, which basically gives us a JSON. Basically, it's a type of file that's it's a dictionary. Basically, if you know Python, it's basically a dictionary. So it's a dictionary of items that have information in them, just like Python, I guess. Yeah. So, and obviously that information is returned from another server. That is what APIs do, because APIs are called from your program to another server, which returns that, whatever data stored on their computers to your program. That's pretty much a full definition of an API. So with this API, they're simply going to send the top 100 memes, apparently. And with caption image, the thing is, you can take one of the templates that they have on their server. I'm going to show you what this means. ngflip meme templates. I'm going to put this in chat too, just so that you can understand what's happening. So let's just take the example of this epic handshake. So if you look at the template, it has a template ID. So in the API, if you look at caption over here, caption image, you need a template ID. So you can take any template from here, and it'll have an ID for it. So for making a meme, you need to have its template ID. So in imgflip, you need to also have an account, because for any kind of API, you need to have authorization to actually use the API. And that authorization in this case is provided by your account. So this account is obviously validated by your username and password. So I have it saved. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to continue talking about this. So the input parameters, obviously, you know, actually, the best way to explain this is actually to code this. So I'm going to do it right here. So since we're not going to use slash commands anymore, I'm just going to remove this. It's easier to see what's happening. Let's just do starts with meme. That's going to be our command. And this is where we're going to start. So everything is here. We don't need this anymore. We do not need these anymore. Good. So right now we're starting from scratch again. We just need to make the functionalities of an API. So right now, every API needs, this API right here, needs these parameters. That is the template ID, the username, the password, the text 0, and text 1. Now text 1 and 2 in this case, let's just take this for example. So this over here is text 1 and this over here is text 2. That's pretty much all you have to know. So text 0 is the top text, text 1 is the bottom text. And you don't have to worry about the rest of it now because I'm just explaining how APIs work. This is kind of more like more specifically on how this specific API works, so you don't have to worry about these things. Just worry about this much for now. We need a template ID, username, password, and the 2 texts. So I think did I save the template? No, I didn't. I'll just go to one of those templates. I need their ID. Let's just take this, I guess. I need the template ID. And I'm going to make a parameter dictionary. I'm going to make a parameter dictionary, which is simply going to store all the parameters that are required for this caption image API. Actually, I'm going to send the API URL. Did I send this in the chat? I did. Never mind.
Yes, you did.
So what I have to do is simply make a dictionary of all these parameters so that I can send it to the server so it knows what it has to send back to me. And obviously the username and password is contained inside the parameters so that it knows, because so that it has like it understands that whatever it's sending, whatever we are sending, has authorization. So the first thing we need to send, actually in dictionaries you don't really need to have an order because they're unordered lists in a way. So it doesn't matter in which order you put them. So if you want, you can just put like password first and text 1 first. It doesn't matter. Just start with anything. But you need to have all of them, obviously. So template ID is what you need. And I'm just going to put everything that I need first. Username, password, text 0, text 1. It has username. You need to have password. I'll input the other stuff later. I'm just putting all this in first. Then text 0 and text 1. Right. So for the template ID, we want this. Just take any. You can use whatever you want. Then my username is Luridnub. If you can see over here, you need to create an account. You can use like Google or something. And if you use Google, you have to change your password into something that you know. Then after that, you have to put it in your environment variable because it's a password. You don't want everyone to know about it. And once you're done with that, you have to import it from the OS. Actually, I haven't actually put my password in here, so I'm going to go to my settings and see what my password was because I just used a randomly generated password. Ngflip. That's in here. Ngflip. So I use a randomly generated password, so I'm sure it doesn't matter. I'm going to take this and paste it in here. I'm going to name my key as pass. Actually, don't do that. Name as password because pass is a keyword in Python. And just don't. Yeah, the thing is, in Python, pass is a keyword. It's something that you use as a. Basically, it's a function for not doing anything. If you want to like use this, if this if statement is something that you don't want to do anything with, just put pass there. It's if that gets executed by anyone, it's just not going to do anything. That's what pass does. And it's like a way of like removing errors from things that you've not completely developed yet. So you can just remove that for now. I'm just not gonna worry about that for now. So I'm going to put my password in, which is os.environ, like this. It's going to be this. I can directly put it in, but in this place, I'm going to put token instead. Sorry, password. Finally, I'm just going to put like random values for text1 and text2. Remember to put commas between each value. I'm going to put like
Lurid, can you send the copy paste the code that you have written till now?
right, yeah. Just put random text over here, text1, text2. So this is the parameter. That's all that we actually have to, this is all that we did till now, basically. Obviously, just replace the username with whatever your username is and replace the password with whatever your password is. And obviously use the environment variable for your password because passwords don't work in, I mean, they don't, it's like security, right? You just need to have it in your secret variable. Right, so that's pretty much it for the parameters. After this is going to be a lot easier because we just have to do a request call, a request API call, that's it. Once everyone is, everyone has caught up with me, I'll go to the next part.
Whoever has completed, they can add an emoji or write something in the chat so we'll
Yeah.
know.
Okay, so are we good?
Yeah, Priyam has completed. I don't know about
Good.
Ashir, Random Rock, and Steve.
Okay. Let me just do a little testing. Hmm. Oh yeah, my other bot is still there, right?
Okay.
Okay, what's that? Never mind. I'm just gonna ignore this because this is my other bot. I'm not actually sure what's happening here. Line 33. I don't even know what that is. It work now. Good. Okay, I'm just gonna leave my other bot online. No one that doesn't matter either. So just leave it. So can we continue? Okay,
I guess we can. Yes.
good. So we have our parameters, and let's just import this thing called requests. Request is a package which allows us to actually do API calls from our code. So we just have to do import requests and just restart the bot. It's going to import it automatically. Don't mind something went wrong. Oh yeah, I'll just use pass here. Cool. So it's going to import requests and it'll run our bot. And I think it's running actually, yeah. Yeah, it's running. Cool. So we have our bot running, but we haven't actually passed any like functionality to exclamation mark meme. And to do that, we are going to look at the documentary of requests itself. Pretty easy, so you don't have to worry too much about this. So this is how you use requests. So R is basically response over here, and requests.get is for getting stuff from there, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use post, or not actually going to use post either. We're going to use requests. Requests.request. Let's see, requests.request. It's not here. Never mind. I'll just do it myself. I'm going to show you how it works. So the first thing that we have to do is obviously get the response from the server after posting. Let's see, basically over here, we are posting something to this part. That is, we're going to be posting our template ID, the text0, text1, along with our authorization. And with this, they're going to take the template ID, they're going to put the text there, and they're going to return a meme with the text that we gave them. That's it. So to get that, we have to use requests, and we're going to be storing everything the server gives us in a variable called response. So let's just do response is equal to requests, and there's a function of requests called request, and this is going to take a few different methods, a few different arguments. First one is method, which is there are a few different methods in APIs. API calling methods. There's get, there's post, there's put, and there's delete. We're only going to be using get and post because that's the most common ones. So we're going to be using post here because that's what it says over here. It's method post. So post, and that's in caps. And we have to put the URL next, and it's going to be a string. So that's pretty easy. Just take the URL from here and post it as a string here.
Can you paste the URL here also?
Right,
On
yeah.
the chat?
The URL is over here. Right, so after that, you have to put in the parameters, which you just put over here. So params is equal to parameter. I misspelled it. And that should be good. So response, I'm going to just print out response so you can see what it is. And yeah, this is pretty much everything that you need to know about an API. Let's see. It's running. I do exclamation mark meme. As you can see, we have what just happened. Oh wow, that's my other board. I'm actually just going to remove this for now because that was a test. So yeah, I'm just going to ignore that. Just ignore it. So yeah, we get a response. That is response 200. And this means that it's successful. Someone else used it, but yeah, cool. It works basically. If this,
Mine too. I got.
yes, if you get this, then it's correct. Everything that you did is correct. And it's all working just fine. So if you look at the API thing here, this is an example of how the request will look like. The response will look like. There'll be response.success, there'll be response.data, and the data will contain an image of something. The data.url will contain an image of the meme that they sent you back. So I'm going to be giving you an example of how this works, of how you show the image to whoever you're sending it to here. And that is it's kind of the same thing actually. You just have to await the way you send messages normally using a bot await message.channel.send. It's pretty much the same thing, but you're going to be putting response in brackets data in brackets URL, and then with this you're going to be completing this thing over here. So we have over here, we're going to be printing. We're not going to be printing anything. We're going to be actually, you know what? Just to see how it works, we're going to be printing it. We're going to do response in brackets data like that, in brackets URL like this. So this is how JSON files work, and like that. Okay, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to run it again. Now if someone does exclamation mark meme, okay, that was a mistake, something happened, it's not subscriptable apparently. Response data URL. Okay, let's see what's wrong. Okay, let's just see what I did wrong. Okay, yeah, of course. I should have forgot this part. So obviously the response that you get isn't already a JSON because it's just a response right now. So you have to convert it into a JSON because right now it's not a JSON, it's just a response. So you have to convert it into a JSON by doing .json at the end of it. This is pretty much equivalent to doing response is equal to response.json. It's going to convert whatever you got from the server into a JSON and then put it in the same place. So to print this, you're going to do print response data JSON, and now it should work properly. Check it out right now. Okay, so Steve asked how you did this typing thing. There's a event in the API called on typing. I'm going to show it to you right now.
Yeah,
API.
I guess Sahil made this bot, yes.
Yes, he did that. So in event reference is going to be something called on typing. So we just type on typing over here. So calls when someone begins typing a message. So you were typing something, so this bot said, yeah, you're typing. That's pretty much it. It's not anything I'm not gonna say it's not impressive, but it's it's easy to code. Definitely like it's creative, I guess. It's pretty cool the way he wrote it. Nice. Anyway, so you need to have data and URL. I'm gonna test the bot actually. That's why I came here. Exclamation mark meme, and it gave me an image, which will lead to text1, text2. It didn't really show up the way I wanted it to, but there's text1 and text2, which is exactly what I wanted. Text1, text2 in this template. And that's the template that I wanted, yeah. So everything is showing up as expected. And to actually show this in chat, I have to do await message.channel.send. Then I'm going to do response data and URL, I think. Because, response, this is the response, and we're going to be looking for data and URL, and it's going to return this. So if we send this in Discord chat, it's actually going to send the image itself because that's how embeds work. If it works, then cool. Works. Yep, it works.
I didn't see the message code. Can you just stop?
Right, I'll just send the entire thing here actually. I'm going to send the entire thing in chat. Right. So if you want, you can paste the code. It should work normally. It's pretty much common for all of us, kind of.
Yeah. I guess we can customize the memes now based on the text that we give. Like if the
Yeah,
person writes meme and gives you a text too,
yeah,
so you can customize the meme according to that.
yeah. Sure, that's definitely possible. You could do like a edit meme, then if you do like, you can definitely like edit this parameter thing here. You could change this and this depending on the user and
And you
so
can
on.
take from the message itself. Like
Yeah,
if
yeah,
there's a message, you can slice the string of the message and get the text that they give,
yeah,
and you can customize that.
yeah. That's exactly, yeah. That's it. Yeah, we can do that, and yeah, then we can make our own memes. Pretty cool.
Wait, let me just deploy my bot and see if it's
Oh
working.
yeah, I'll stop for now so that everyone can catch up. Yeah, everyone up
I'll-
to speed.
Okay, my bot said and yours. I guess
I'll
others.
stop my bot. Yeah,
Yes.
pretty cool.
You can also change the ID and play with the
Yeah,
memes. Wait, I'll just try another meme.
gonna change the template. It's all over here. Making sure I'm recording. Yeah. Okay. So can we continue?
Wait, let me just. I guess Sahil joined again, right? Can you hear us?
Good. Nice. So for this meme, there's a lot more text apparently, and I think we have to use like different types of boxes, which is kind of API specific. So I'm not gonna go too deep into that.
Okay, Lurid. I guess yeah, we can continue with the next topic.
Okay, cool.
What?
So I'll go to the next topic. Mine isn't working. So what's happening? Is it like is there an error, or is it just not like sending the message? No, I haven't talked about hosting it yet. No, it isn't responding.
Okay, you can show us the code maybe.
Yeah, I'll stop presenting.
Yes. I guess your my secret is not the token number. No, no, it is. Just check if your environment has the token ID. Like, yeah, then it's correct.
I don't think you close the bracket after message.channel.send.
Yeah, he didn't. The
Yeah, that should be it. I, that should be it actually. Let's see.
let's see.
Try to check
Just
in.
let it run. Then we'll just send some. I guess Lurid, you can send name and see.
Yeah. Uh, did it work?
No, it's actually still running.
Hmm.
I guess it ran. Just do me. Yeah. I guess learner bot is streets.
Oh my God.
Yes, it's running well. Semicolon. Entire server crashed. Nice.
Oh no.
Okay, then Lurid, you can continue.
Yeah, I'm currently doing a captcha. It's asking me a
Okay.
captcha for inviting a bot. Okay, finally. Good. Okay, I'm gonna screen share again. Anyway, yeah, right here. So this is pretty much everything you need to know about an API. You need to use response, requests, and request. Different types of things. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you how to use get too. There's get, and the API which uses get is this one. Simply like this is a really easy one. It just returns like everything related to it. Everything. I'll show you what it returns. It returns 100 memes ordered by how many times they were captioned in the last 30 days. So this is easy. It kind of does the same thing. Just going to, okay, you know what? Wait, that's a bad idea. I'm going to do, because this is going to return a really big message. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to, let's see, what do I want to send? I'll just send data memes URL. But which one? Let's see. I don't know. I'll just do any one of them, I guess. Data URL, sorry, it's not data URL, it's data memes URL. But see, memes is a list actually over here. So you can just take one of them. So data memes and a part of that is like 0, I guess, because it's a list. So it's going to return the most popular meme. So let's just try. It's just going to return the actual like meme. It's going to return the template. It's not actually going to return anything other than that. So I'm going to do that here. Where's my bot? It's not actually doing anything because there's an error for some reason. Here a URL. Apparently I messed up the order. It's data, then memes, and then it's 0, and then URL. Yeah, I just messed up the order. That's it. That that should work. Because basically it's response, then data, then memes, then the index number, and then the URL. So now it should work properly. And my bot is over here, Pringles. It's the Drake meme, obviously. For some reason, the Drake meme is the most popular meme. Kind of depressing, but yeah, so that's how you use the get method. It's the same, slightly easier because you don't have to use the parameters. Because get requests usually don't require authorization. And yeah, that's it. That's all about APIs that you need to know. So now I'm going to be talking about how you use Firebase and MongoDB. So Firebase and MongoDB, at least the cloud paths, are just kind of exactly the same as this. You basically use API requests to get information from them and to send or post information to them. It's basically get and post, the same as this. So I'm not going to be getting too deep into that. I'm going to be using CSV files to store stuff in this session. So I'm going to be erasing everything here. I'm going to be using CSV files instead. We don't need requests anymore. I'm going to be importing OS, sorry, CSV. because we're going to be working with CSV files. CSV is well, it's a package. So I'm going to be running this just so it installs it. I'm just going to look at the chat. Let's see. Good. Works. I think CSV is installed. We can check if CSV is installed over here. Not installed apparently. Or maybe it's already installed. Maybe some sort of like inbuilt library, probably, or whatever. So I'm going to be making a CSV file here. Just say it's data.csv, right? This is what's going to store all of our information. So yesterday, Anam showed her task manager bot, and I'm going to be making something similar to that, but this time it's going to be like everyone has their own tasks. So I'm going to be showing you how that works. Let's just give an example of how the CSV is going to look like first. So before I start, is everyone with me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, I'm having. Okay.
Remove everything that I don't need. I'm still presenting, right? Good. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing is everyone in a server is identified by their user ID, right? So if you want to copy someone's user ID, you can just like right-click them and click copy ID. So I'm going to be taking my own ID and be copying it in my data. And this is going to be like a dictionary. My dictionary is going to, like basically, let's just say that there's a dictionary of everyone's data. And let's just say I want to find my own data in the dictionary. I'm going to be using my own user ID as a key to find the values of the dictionary. And the values are going to be my list of, tasks. So first of all, the thing about CSV files is that I'm going to be using a CSV file right now, a CSV file to table, to show you
How
how
did you
CSV
get
file
your
works.
own ID? How did you get your own
Right.
ID?
Actually, I forgot to say this. You need to have Discord developer mode enabled, and that's in advanced over here. You need to go to your Discord settings and go to advanced. There you'll find developer mode, which will allow you to right click on your name and select copy ID. Just have that enabled. I'll just wait for a bit so everyone can turn on developer mode. After you do that, you'll be able to do a lot of stuff like copy the ID of messages, copy the ID of channels, copy the ID of entire servers, of voice channels, of categories too. So it's pretty useful for developing.
Yes.
Is everyone done?
Yeah, I copied my ID.
Good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to map my ID to a bunch of tasks. So I'm going to be explaining why having multiple tasks is kind of difficult in CSV files. Right here. Okay, I'm going to do this. Before I have this, I'm just going to give a thing here, ID and tasks. Let's just say I want to have two tasks, like, I don't know, doing the laundry, I guess, and doing the dishes. So this is not actually going to work. I'm going to show you why over here. From a CSV to HTML table. As you can see, my ID is correct, and my tasks is apparently doing laundry, but there's apparently a field 3 for doing dishes. So that's why it's kind of difficult to like just simply append to our tasks, because if we do it like this, it's not really going to work properly. So we're going to have to use a different delimiter for this, and we're going to be using a slash. That's kind of it, actually. We're not going to be using commas to change the way we are separating our tasks. We're going to be using slashes. That's pretty much it. Then we can do like this and, I don't know, play games, I guess. So if I copy this and paste it here instead, it's going to be all under one single field right here, which is why we're going to be using a different delimiter. We can have one ID doing a bunch of tasks, and we can have another ID doing another bunch of tasks. So this itself might take too long, so I'm not going to complete the entire code for this, but I will complete as much as I can within the time that I'm given. So
Steve
right.
has a question.
Right. You can do that though. Yeah, it does. Am I missing something?
No, from
You
there
can make,
you can make another.
yeah, you can make another array too, like 2D arrays. Yep, you can if you want, but in this case, dictionaries would be better. Because, mapping is like, how you know how switch statements work, right? Like, when you switch statements, you directly go to the line that you want to go. Like, you don't have to go, like, you could say that lists are like if-else statements and dictionaries are like switch statements. Because in switch statements, you go directly to the line that you want. And if statement checks every single, line for the statement or the condition that you want. So yeah, basically, it's basically better to use dictionaries. It exists in Python. I don't know whether it exists in CSV. Not sure what you mean.
Like Sahil means that how can we actually make an array in CSV? No, I
Um,
meant it was different.
no,
Maybe
yeah, you want to answer that?
in CSV, maybe we can't just make a list right there, right? As Sahil said.
Yeah, we can't use lists like that because if we do like this, it's not really going to change anything because
Yeah.
it's being delimited by commas. So if I put a comma here, it's not going to change anything because it's delimited by commas. It doesn't like, see, because according to CSV, this is one string, this is another string. Okay, I just messed that up. Control Z. This, Control Y. Okay, yeah. This is one string. This is another string for CSV, and this is another string. So if I convert this, I'm going to show you what I mean. This is basically not going to do anything because, yeah, it's delimited, as I said, by commas. The commas are separating each value, so it's just going to go in a different field. So you need to use slashes instead of commas. Like basically, you're going to replace commas with something else. That's all. So here I'm replacing the commas by slash. So Sahil also asked a question. It exists in Python. I'm not sure if it exists in CSV. Okay, I think he was answering someone
Yeah, I
else's
guess we
question.
answered
Yeah.
this.
Okay, so I'll just take someone else's ID just so it's easier for everyone to understand, I guess. Take your ID.
Take mine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Uh, I don't know, code slash stuff, whatever. Cool. So I'll put this in here again. So in a CSV file, you don't really need to have the beginning part. It's just for storing data. So as long as you know what the data is, you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to convert this to a table, and this is how it's going to store stuff. Okay, actually, you know what? In this case, it's kind of making one of them a header, so I'm going to keep that back, and I'm going to show this to you. This is how it works. So everyone got it, right? Yeah, I got your thing. So there's this. Yeah, this is kind of done. We don't need this anymore because that's kind of just like another row. Or according to Python, it's just another row. It's not like a header or something, so you don't have to worry about that. You can just remove it.
Lurid, if you want, I can send my task manager code and you can make the changes for the database. You can first teach the existing code and
No, I actually already have it here, so it's
if you
fine.
have it, then it's
Yeah.
fine.
So yeah, everyone's with me, right?
Yes.
Well, I'll remove this. What else do we need? This is good. So I'll just add a task thing here. Actually, you know what? It would be better because this code itself is not really complete. It would be better if you send your code, this like the task part
Yes.
to me.
Okay, then I'll just, yeah.
I have the save thing, which is kind of important. I'll just leave it over here as a comment. Don't worry
I,
about that for now.
Gmeet will cut my, yeah, it's like cutting my content. I'll just send you the if statements. Like,
Yeah, you can send it to me on Discord. It's fine.
okay, yeah, I'll send it on the Discord channel then. Oh no, what did I do?
Good. Nice. Good. This is going to make it easier.
You'll have to remove client
Right,
also.
yeah. Good. So this is where the code starts. And I'm going to be modifying this to make it, capable to be, actually, wait, I have to make this command list. Actually, you know what, I'll just remove that. I'm going to replace it with a dictionary, actually, yeah. Command underscore list is equal to dictionary. That removed every single thing. Okay, good. So the first thing we have to do when we start our bot is read our CSV file and put everything that's in our CSV file into the command list dictionary actually. So this is how we do it. I have a code over here for it. I'm gonna make it easier because you can here. So this is now tasks, it's now data. So now to tell you what this means, actually I'll just fix everything first. It's data. What's it again? Reader. Hmm. So it doesn't know what data is. What is data? It is tasks. Wait, what? I'm just gonna let me name this as file. I'm not sure what's happening. No, wait. Oh, wait, of course. It's a command list. There. That should fix it. Yeah. So I'm going to be explaining what everything here means. You can ignore everything after this. I'm just going to tell you what the beginning part means. You guys know what this means, so I'm going to start with this. So a command list is basically an initialization of what our list is going to be like. So everyone knows, maybe not everyone, but I'm going to tell you that file I/O is extremely slow. So you should never actually do too many of these in your program. You should have as little of I/O as possible. So the only I/O that I'm going to have, I/O stands for input/output, that is file reading. And the only times I'm going to do any I/O is in the beginning of the program and at the end of the program. You could do that by on disconnect. That is an event I can show you. API reference. There's an on disconnect, which is basically when the client has disconnected from Discord. But I'm just going to make a function for it, which is over here. Actually, no, I'll just get to that later. So there's a function for it where I basically I basically write everything that's in command list back to the data. That's it. Yeah. So that's it. So yeah, I'm going to be explaining what this means. So this is basically with basically means that it's going to open this data CSV file, but after this is executed, this data.csv will automatically be closed. So this open as file is going to be only open for the duration of this entire loop. Once this is closed and done, you don't have to close the file anymore, because in some codes, in some other languages, you do like file dot close, like that. You don't really have to do that because with is basically closing it for you. That's pretty much it. If you want, you can open it normally and close it normally, but this is faster. So with open data.csv, we're only going to be reading it. That's why it's going to be R. I can show you the different modes of I/O, file I/O modes. There's read, write, append. We're not going to be using append anytime soon. There's read and write, blah, blah, blah. You can use whatever you want, but I'm only going to be using read at when we have to read, and write when we have to write. So we're going to be writing when we have to save our file, save command list to data.csv, and we're going to be reading when we want to read data.csv to command.list, commands list. So to read it, CSV has a kind of object called reader, and it's going to contain an argument called file. So it's going to open this data.csv and store it inside of file, and the CSV reader is going to read it and store it inside of reader. So it's going to contain all the rows of this data.csv. It's going to contain this as separate rows, and for each row in the reader, if you can see, for each row over here, it's going to first of all take command list and set this as a key, row 0, that is this part, that's row 0, and it's going to set the key value, the value of that key to row 1 dot split slash. This is basic Python, and if you don't know what this means, it's basically taking this entire thing and splitting it into an array where the delimiter is a slash. If you don't understand what that means, I can print it out for you here. Print command list row 1, I think that should do it. I kind of used the wrong bracket there. That should do it. Let's try that again. I'll actually just comment the rest of it out because I just want to make it easy to understand. So right now it's only doing this. I'm gonna run this. Let's see. Key error. Doing laundry, playing games. I might have messed something up here. Command list. Row. Oh wait, it's supposed to be row 0. I'm sorry. And that should do it, I think. Yeah. So it's gonna print the. Basically, it's gonna print this. This is what we got basically. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna print that itself. Gonna go up here. I'm gonna print what this is, so it's easier for you to understand what it is. So row 1 dot split. We're basically doing something to this part of the array, and this is what we're doing. We're gonna be taking everything here and splitting it wherever there is a slash, and making an array out of it. And it's all strings, so it's gonna be making an array of strings. So doing laundry is going to be one part. It's going to split it over here. Doing this is going to be another part. It's going to split it there. Then it's going to be playing games. It's going to split it there and end the array. And yeah, that's pretty much our entire command list. If you want, you can check if it works down here. Print list. Close this. I don't know why I did that. So this should print out the entire thing. And I'm going to do this so it's easier to see, like that. So as you can see, this is my user ID and I'm doing these things. This is Anand's user ID and she's going to do these things. So that was a lot of information. Is everyone with me? Right now,
Yes.
we have just read from the data.csv. I'm going to show you how to write to it now. After everyone says yes, yeah. Good. Everyone's with me. Nice. Okay. So what's next? Right. We should next we should do a command for saving everything in here. So I'm going to do client.event. Actually, no, I'm just going to like undo this. Making a command. Okay, that's kind of indented a little weird there. If message, I'm gonna remove the brackets, message dot author, no, sorry, content that starts with save. I'm just doing this so it's easier to understand how to save your content to the data.csv. And I have my code here only saved with me. It's this one. I'm going to be explaining how this works. So this is going to be command list actually. Everything else is the same. Okay. So I'm going to be keeping this
Change
actually.
the CSV file name.
Right, yeah. Data. Okay. Everything else is ready. So if someone says exclamation mark save, it's going to save everything into this CSV file. I'm showing you how that works. First, it's the same thing with open with W as file because we're going to be writing stuff here instead of the R over here. Then we're going to be using a writer instead of a reader because we're writing instead of reading. Then this is also basic Python. We're simply taking a key value pair from command list items, and an item inside over here is just this. This much is one item. I'm just going to open it up a little so you can see. So this is one item, and this is another item. So an item is basically a key value pair. That's it. So for a key value, for every item in command list, it's going to write a row into data.csv, and I will actually show this to you again. File IO modes. So W actually creates a text file. So that means it's going to overwrite everything that's already in there. Because if you append it, there's going to be duplicated data. Because if you already append everything in here over here, you remove something. No, I'm in the wrong one. Here. So if you append things, like if you append this stuff over here, it's going to be like this, and it's going to be duplicated pretty much, and that's not what you want. So it's going to be rewriting everything in data.csv from scratch, which is kind of what you want because you don't want to have any corrupted data and stuff. Just ignore that. Basically, you don't want duplicated data. That's it. So I'm going to show you how it works actually. www write mode. That's it actually. Never mind. Not actually giving us an example, but basically, as I said, it's only going to actually write stuff. It's not going to append because there's a separate mode for appending stuff to your CSV file. So that's your key value pair, and writer has a function called write row. If you want, you could see the documentary of CSV, but it's kind of just simple. It's just write row and read row and stuff, so it's not really like that difficult. You can just like Google it and stuff. So you're going to write this into your row. It's going to be a list, not actually a list, but it's going to be like see, I'm going to show you actually what it is. If I open this bracket, it's going to tell us what we need. We need an iterable, which is why I put a row over here, because it's only going to take actually a row. So it's an iterable. A row is an iterable, like a list, sorry. A list is an iterable. And inside of this, you need to put your arguments. That is what you need to put inside. I put a double row. I'll remove that here. So you need to put in a key, and that's the first part. Then you're going to put in this. I'm going to print this out to show you what this is. So we have this over here. This is going to be a value. This is our value of our items. Okay, these are our values. So to take these values and combine them with a slash, we are going to be using slash.join value. Basically what it does is it takes this, combines it with this, and puts a slash in between it. Takes whatever this was, puts a slash in between this and whatever play games is. So it's going to be the same with this one. It's going to take code and combine it with this with a slash in between it. I'm going to print it over here so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm going to stop this. And this is a good example of showing you what the writing and reading stuff I was talking about was. If I delete everything in here, and if I go here and press exclamation mark save, I think that wasn't. Yep, it was save. Yep, it'll go back, and as you can see, the stuff is back. If I delete it again and I click save again, once it's done saving, it'll probably come back. Come on. Did I misspell that? Let's see. Something went wrong. I'm just gonna restart this.
In your main.py, are you actually adding the data?
Wait, there's no connection now apparently. Yeah, what is it?
Your main.py.
Oh yeah, what is it?
We're not adding any data, so how will it save it?
Yeah, I have to add it a little later because right now I'm just modifying it. Right now it's empty, so yeah, just gonna put it back. Okay, see, when you start this bot, I'm like the saving is I'm basically like how I'm saying this. How do I say this? I'm modifying the CSV file so that whatever is saved inside command list over here is put inside of data.csv, because when the bot starts, this executes, meaning that everything in the CSV file that is this right now is put inside of command list. So if I remove everything here, it's still going to be inside of command list. So when I save it, everything in command list should be put here, and that's what I'm explaining.
Just try save now.
Yeah, wait, I'll just restart it and undo that. So if I run this, everything here is stored inside of command list.
Okay.
Right? So when I execute the save command here, even if I remove everything here, it'll come back because everything that was stored in command list is going to be put back in this data.csv. And it
now
should work
try if the bot is working.
Yeah, it should, because for some reason it's done saving and it's back.
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, that's what I was trying to explain. The next thing I'm going to do is
can you copy paste the code
right,
here?
yes, of course.
Did everything explain? Did everything everyone understood by the stuff?
Yes,
it might have been a little complex, so if you have any doubts, do tell you, right?
Yeah, sure. Don't worry, I'm not gonna bite. That's the first part, and the second part I'm just gonna put like a separator so you can see what's the difference. Yeah. So the top one is for reading stuff. The top one is for writing stuff, and the bottom one is for reading stuff.
Okay.
We did not get any yes, which means they didn't understand, I
Oh no.
guess.
Oh no. You guys, was it going
To
too
give a
fast?
yes.
Hmm.
Still not getting a yes.
Hmm. Okay, good.
Okay, pretty cool then.
Nice.
We're gonna take that one yes as all yeses because we
Yeah.
are not getting either yes or no. So we have to take one.
Okay, Steve is currently checking if his bot is working. So, oh, it
Yeah.
worked. Awesome. Great.
Pretty cool.
So the next thing is appending data. After that, they'll be deleting data, and after that, we'll be good to go actually. Because, so as I said before, file operations are never good. You should not do too much of it during an anything. Wait 1 second. What was that?
So we'll be
Okay, good.
appending to the command list, right?
Yes, you're right.
That we're creating.
Yes,
Okay.
because command list is going to be inside of our memory, like our RAM pretty much. So RAM is obviously much faster than disk storage, which is file stuff. So
Yes.
files are going to be interacted with each other using the disk, which is extremely slow. It's like the storage part over here, and RAM is the faster part, if you didn't know. So command list is going to be instead of a RAM, data.csv is going to be instead of a storage. In the most viable situation, we should always modify command list and not data.csv. So keeping that in mind, we know that we are going to be replacing everything in data.csv with command lists. So we don't really have to worry about if everything is inside command list or not, because in the beginning of the program, everything is already going inside of command list. So everything that's inside command list is already inside of data.csv. And that's all I have to say, yeah.
I have one doubt.
Yes.
Why are you telling that we should not do anything with data.csv and do everything with command
Okay,
list?
yeah. So data.csv stored inside of our HDD or SSD, depending on what kind of server this is. So
Yeah.
obviously, as I said, Replit is online and it's a public kind of repository where everything is stored and run.
Yeah.
So data.csv is stored inside of a storage, which is much, much, much slower than RAM. And command.list is actually stored inside of a RAM. And data.csv is stored inside of a storage. So,
Okay,
as
I
I was
understood.
saying,
You did
yeah,
talk about this.
yeah.
Makes sense.
So I'll go to the next part. If you want to add something, you just have to like put a new command called add. And let's just see if Anam did something similar, because it should be pretty much identical.
Yes, I took add remove also. So you can just
Yeah,
remove the for loop and
yeah,
take
I'll
the
do
code.
that. I'm gonna remove that thing here.
You can use the slicing command also to get the value because
The slicing.
because if they
Oh
add
yeah, you're
like
right. Yeah, you're right.
and then they give it a value, so you can slice the string and then so I've added
Yeah,
the code for that too.
nice. So message starts. I'm just gonna make sure that this works before I explain this. I mean, it works with Anam, but I need to make sure it works with me. So I go back. Take this, tab it to the right place. If message.author.id not in, I think that's how it works, not in command list dot keys, if I'm not wrong. If it's not there, and the thing here, then do that. And then it'll be an else. Command list message author ID dot append new task. Or from there. That should do it. I'll just make it look better. That's it. I'm going to run it to see if it works.
Okay, the thing is what you're doing is
I see. I see what I was doing wrong.
take the whole string and then you append to that string, but it's not an array. You have to
Right,
join the
right,
string with the element with a
right.
slash, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And then you update that value, that itself.
Yes. Okay, so what I
Yes.
was doing wrong is when you initialize this, you have to make it a list. So that when you append it, it's not going to be a string. That's pretty much the only mistake I was making. So I'm just going to like wipe
So
this
you
entire
just
thing.
join
Hmm?
instead of append, you can write just join or something.
No, no, no. Append is for lists, right? So append is going to work now that this is a list, because right now in the beginning I was actually like just replacing whatever this was with a string. As you can see here, my user ID was corresponding to a string, which is wrong. It's not supposed to be a string. This is itself is just a string. But this, if you enclose it in brackets, square brackets, it becomes a list. So lists can be appended to, which is why we can now, it'll now work. At least hopefully it should work. Okay, as you can see, it's already started working properly. I'll add another thing. Okay, so one of you guys, just try appending something to this. Just put anything. Just say like add, no, I'd say add something, like add, I don't know, burgers, I guess, anything. Add
Don't
Dheeraj,
add
and as you
me
can
as a
see,
task.
yep, everyone is adding things, and as you can see, their user ID is corresponding to their own list. And yeah, as you can see, small mistakes like that can cause you to lose a lot of time. And just once you work with it for a long time, you will stop making such small mistakes. And right now, the
Yeah, it's
mistake
like
I
a
was making,
trial error.
yeah, it was a really bad error. Like, yeah,
And if you have any errors, just print the stuff and you
yeah,
will get
and yeah, if you
just
have
like
errors,
You
everything.
can
just ask
copy
us.
paste
Yeah,
the current code that you did for ad.
yep.
So it will
So,
be better for.
yeah. So, and right now I'm going to do add save, sorry, exclamation mark save, and everything here is going to be here. Dot hello, Dheeraj, hello, bye. So now it's working perfectly fine. The only mistake I was making was this part. And that's the reason I did that was because I copy pasted a list code, which I should not have done. I should have started from scratch, but it's all fine. It's all working now, so it's all good. So right now the only thing that's left to be done is deleting the extra stuff. Deleting the part that we don't want. Just taking this, I did the wrong thing, go over here. If message is delete, it's going to delete a part of the command list.
How about rather than doing delete,
Yeah,
doing done, because task will be done.
done. That's a good idea.
Yeah, also add
Right.
spaces between like every function because it just like you
Right,
just
I'm
can't
sorry. Yeah,
just
I
add a
should
line
probably
break
make
or
it look
something.
better. Yeah.
Yes.
Or maybe we can also have delete because sometimes you just add some
Yeah,
dumb task and you'll be like,
I
okay,
mean,
that's
we
done.
can take one command for now.
we can call it done. It's fine. Yeah. So it's going to be the same as this actually. It's just going to take, first of all, it's going to take the content of the message and it's going to see what you want to delete. And if it's not, so yeah, let's just see this. This time is going to be kind of different. It's not going to be if message or author is not, because in this case, actually, you know what? Yeah, we actually do need this over here. If
Yeah.
a person is trying to delete something when they're not even in the list over here, then it's simply going to return it. 'Cause it's not going to do anything because you're
I'll
not
just
in the
send a
list.
message now that you haven't even created
Yeah, actually, let's do
something
that. Yeah,
like that.
let's do await
You can write a message.
message
Yes.
dot panel dot send. You don't have tasks to delete there. And actually, I'll do an or statement over here. If they already deleted, actually, no, that's not how you do it. Or,
But the
yeah,
message would be different, right? So I think we should do it in a different way.
no, I was like, basically, if their ID is there here, but there's no like, there's nothing to
Oh,
correspond to it, I
got it.
guess.
Makes sense. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
because when you delete
That's a great
something,
idea. Yeah.
yeah. So message dot author. Let's just do what is it again? Command list. Dot. That's not dot. It's message dot author ID. This is basically going to check if it's empty or not. That's it. So if it's empty, it's simply going to return you don't have task to delete. And if there is, then it's going to be an else, and it's going to delete the task from command list.
Uh,
So
shouldn't we also check if someone else is deleting other person task?
that's not possible. You can't delete anyone's tasks other than your own tasks, right?
Oh, is then. So
Yeah.
is it like already done or
Yeah, it's
how does
actually
that
already
work?
done. Like everything here. This is my task, this is Anam's task, and this is
Yeah.
Steve's
So
tasks.
so how are you checking if someone else is deleting someone else's task?
That's not possible. We can't actually do that in the code because if you do done, I'm going to make, I mean, I haven't made the code yet, but I'm going to
Yeah.
make it so that you can only delete your own tasks.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Like,
Yeah,
how are you doing? Okay,
I'll
makes sense.
I'll actually do that right now. I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Yes, you're supposed to take the ID over here, like do a command list message author ID, and you're supposed to pop whatever you want to pop from here. So let's just say command list author ID, message author ID, which makes it so that you can only delete your own messages. Dot pop, whatever the new task was. I'm going to replace this with a different code. Remove task, so it's easier to understand, and remove that. Oh wait, it pops an index actually. This is going to be a kind of tough thing to think about. Actually, let's try list remove. That should be kind of the same thing. Remove element. That's it. That's what we want. We have to use remove instead of pop. And remove task is this.
Actually, you have to do 6 because done is 4 letters. So do message.content 6.
Right. Yeah, that's it. Probably the whole mistake.
Space is coming. Now you can uncomment the code. It will work perfectly fine now.
Let's do it. Let's do this. Add nice and done nice. Hey, it worked. So,
Yes. You just
by
gotta clean the code a little bit and send to us, and
yeah,
maybe explain properly again because there are a lot of trial and error, so people might have lost track.
yeah. So yeah, as you can see, there was once. I'm just gonna open this up a little bit. So previously, that's my user ID. It was saying that I have nice, and I added nice over here. I removed it by doing done nice, and I now added hello, and now it says that I only have hello over here. And as you can see, it's working properly. Yeah, it's a perfectly working code. That's actually it. Actually, that's pretty much it. That I've actually made it work. I don't think there's anything left for me to say other than
You can remove the below commented out code and just
right. I'll just paste everything
send
in
us
there.
the whole code so we can try and run it
Right.
ourselves.
I'll send out a Discord. So
That's in on Discord actually.
wait, I'll remove this. I'll actually put it in like better comments. And let's do that. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna remove everything in here so it's easier. Yeah, there we go. And nice. There we go. Done. Hello. And yep, works perfectly fine.
I guess so. What else? I guess that was the agenda for today's.
That's it. Yeah.
So what you guys can do is you can try to print the list itself. So if you remember, I showcased my task bot yesterday. So it was showing all the list if you do like show my list or something. So you can work on that. And I guess if you guys have any doubts or any errors that you're getting, you can say and we'll end the meeting in 5 minutes. I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll just give a summary again of what we did today, just if you, to refresh your memory, I guess. So first of all, we started with slash commands because last time we didn't do that properly. We did slash commands properly, then we finished with APIs, the meme API, and get post APIs. Then we understood how to use parameters for the API. Then after that, we used CSV files. Then we saw how to use file IO using CSV, this package here. Then we understood how to use the CSV file to put everything in the CSV file into command list, and the other way around for command list to go into data.csv by saving the stuff over here. Then we understood how to append stuff to the list, which is pretty much basic Python, and remove stuff from the list, which again is basic Python. That's it. Yeah, everything we did today.
You guys can have access to all the links that we used today, and maybe we can end the session. So I don't want to hold you guys any more longer,
Yeah.
and maybe I can take a screenshot if you can turn on your camera. Yes, welcome. Okay, he left. There. Okay,
Okay.
I'll just take a screenshot.
Wait,
You turn the light on properly.
Oh damn. How did you get that much light? Let me know because I have
Okay.
really less light in the night.
I have
I mean, you just have to open the curtains and you'll get it. I took the
I have
screenshot,
this like
Dheeraj.
light
Oh
here.
no.